Do you really know how much water it is in a Minecraft water block? Does it really equal to every form it takes in-game? Is a source block of water the same outside a bucket as inside a bucket? A cauldron? A bottle? Okay, so in Minecraft we can observe water in different containers and different water stages. And we all know that a block in Minecraft is 1 by 1 by 1 meter cubed, or about 3.3 to the power of 3 cubic feet in freedom units, or 16 by 16 by 16 pixels. But a full water block is a bit smaller. It's 16 by 16 by 14 pixels. It's missing 2 pixel rows at the top of it. When measuring, I'm using pixels in fractures with a metric system, so a block would be 16 over 16 times 16 over 16 times 16 over 16, which will be 1 by 1 by 1. So a water source block will be 16 over 16 times 16 over 16 times 14 over 16, or 1 by 1 by 14 over 16. So when we have set the parameters for measuring and calculating block size, it's time to look at a source block. So a water block is, as said before, 16 by 16 by 14 pixels, and it will be 1 by 1 by 14 over 16, all metric of course, which will be 0.875 cubic meters, or get ready, 875 liters, equivalent to about 30,000 ounces, or this number, which is kind of insane. 875 liters is a bit under a full block. And since we all know a bucket can pick up an entire water block, that means a bucket can hold a flipping amount of 875 liters. But when it comes to calculating the amount of water in a bucket, we got 2 ways. One is to count the amount of pixels we see on the sprite of the water bucket. As you can see here, it got 7 by 10 area here, and 1 by 8 on the top, a 2 by 8 and a 1 by 6, or 7 times 10 plus 30. And since a bucket is only 1 pixel wide, it doesn't really matter, because 7 times 10 plus 30 times, and all that times 1 is still the same. And then it is 100 cubic pixels. Whoops, cubic pixels. Didn't I say we would use the metric system? So the 100 cubic pixels is about 0.39 cubic meters, or around 390 liters, which sounds plausible compared to the amount we just picked up. But the other one is to scale the bucket to the comparable size of a block in an item frame. Since when you throw out a bucket and a normal block, the bucket will look bigger in item form, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I will scale it down by looking at the amount of pixels a block have in an item frame compared to the bucket. So when we scale it down, 1 pixel on the bucket is 1/4 of a pixel on a block in an item form, as you can see here. So then we have something like this. So then we have 25 cubic pixels, which is about 0.098 cubic meters. And does anyone know what that is in liters? 98 liters. 98 liters. How in the flipping heck is this possible for a bucket to only have space for 98 liters when it sucks up 875 liters? When it's a source block! So, if we look at the two different bucket calculations, which is almost 4 times the difference, 390 over 98 is about 3.98. But at the same time, the 98 liter bucket is pixel consistent with a block. Okay, so we'll go away from the bucket for now. But we can use the water bucket on a tile entity, the cauldron. The cauldron is a full block. The inside of a cauldron is measured to be 12 by 12 by 12 pixels, so it fits around 421 liters. But when you place a water bucket in the cauldron, it fills 12 by 12 by 11 pixels, so the water takes up 387 liters. Easy and shut right case, although it's still 2.26 times less than when we had it placed down on the ground. So if we want to complicate this further, the cauldron has 4 stages. We have covered 2 of them, full and empty, and now we'll look at the 2 other. It's the 12 by 12 by 8 pixels and 12 by 12 by 5 pixels. Let's start with the 12 by 12 by 8 first. The second stage will be calculated as this nonsense, because I'm not gonna repeat myself over and over, which is 281 liters. And the last one is the one with the 5 instead. Then it will be 175 liters. But here's the thing. That doesn't make sense. The full cauldron is 387 liters with water, of course. And the second stage is 281 liters. And the third one is 175 liters. Not only does that not make sense of the cauldron, nor does it make sense about the item we made the cauldron change stages, the bottle. The bottle is a whole other can of worms. The cauldron stages is weird, from full to second to this mess, which has the full one on the bottom and the second stage on top to compare. So it's 0.75 of the full one. But if we take the almost empty on top with this, we get 0.45 of the full one. From the full one to one stage down, it's a difference of 0.28, and then the second stage to the almost empty stage is 0.27, which is fine. But now from the almost empty on top, but now from the almost empty to empty, it's 0.45. 3 of the same bottles with the same amount of water pixels can take out 3 different amounts. At least the 2 first is almost the same, but the last one is totally off. So if you take a look at the bottle, it has the same problem as the water bucket. 2 different methods of calculating the volume. So we can take this same approach in the same order. The bottle has 38 pixels directly off the sprite, so 38 over 256, which then is 148 liters, which again is a lot of water for a tiny bottle. So the second approach, the pixel consistency of a block. So with the pixel consistency of a full block, the bottle has 9.5 pixels worth of water in it. So around 37 liters worth of water inside, which again looks something like this. This again raises another question I have. 37 liters times 3 equals 111 liters. 3 bottles of 37 liters should only fill around 0.29% of the cauldron. Not fill 387 liters of it. And again, now 3 bottles of water has more water than a bucket of water. 111 liters to 98 liters. So then 3 bottles of water in a cauldron fills 45% of the first stage, then up to 72 at the second stage, and then the full 100%, which is now 387 liters. And pick it up by a bucket and it now goes down to 98 liters, although all the water left the cauldron. And if you now place the water down, it's 875 liters. But although use a bucket on a block of water, it disappears from the world. Use 3 bottles on the same water block, it's still in the world. Put it in a cauldron and take it out with a bucket, and we've just made a new water block out of entirely nothing. Alchemists would be mad. Ha! Suck it, Eric. A quick thing before I talk about the calculations, if you may or may not already have typed it in the comments. One source block, as we found out, is 875 liters. But if we now let the water flow, the original source block is still 875 liters. And it now flows 7 blocks from the center. And that will be around 4,300 liters, only in 8 blocks. And that include the source block and only a straight line, as I've tried to show here. And if you add the other 3 straight lines from the source block, it's now, this is in volume or cubic meters, and it will be 28,072 liters on the flat ground. And just think, if you build a pyramid up to the build limit and place a water block there, let it run all the way down to the bottom of the world, and remove all the block under the water, and it will fill every single block under it. So every block from build height, so 320, 6 blocks out of the source block, you go 1 down, and then 7 blocks out again, over and over and over till you reach minus 64. I, to be frankly honest, don't want to do those kinds of calculations. So, sorry about that, but it will be impossible to us to understand. That number is too large, and the amount of volume it takes is too large. And just to mention, put a water bucket on the same block as the water source block, and it's still a water source block. So 875 on top of 875 liters but pick it back up and it's still just 875 liters. Why? I can't even, and I don't want to. Okay, so some of the calculations will be shown here, and I will point out the all the bottle calculations and the bucket calculations, because it has 256 in the calculation, and that is because the bucket and the water bottle is only 1 pixel depth, so I will only count 16 by 16 of a block, which is 256. If you disagree and think it should be a full block, which is 4096, that's fine. I don't really think it is. So in conclusion, Minecraft Water is super messy. Every form it takes as a single source block is different in every item form, and form container it uses different percentage of equal volume that the container comes from. But at the end of the day, just fall in ish 0.25 liters of water and you're good.